Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I am going to talk about computer memory, also known as RAM. It is very important to have the right amount of memory for fluent use of your PC, and depending on what kind of user you are, the amount of memory may be different, as sometimes it's not worth it to overpay for a large amount of memory when you won't have use of it, or sometimes it's actually worth it to spend a little bit more money on a bigger amount of memory to be on the safe side. So with no further ado, let's get started. So first of all, what is RAM? On a Windows PC, random access memory is like the computer's short-term memory. Whenever you run an app or open a file, data is loaded into RAM for fast access. This makes programs run quickly because RAM is much faster than a hard drive or SSD. When you shut down, RAM clears out, unlike your long-term storage. So how much of the memory do you actually need? Casual users, web browsing, videos, light office work around 8 GB of RAM is generally enough for everyday tasks and media. This lets you surf the web, stream movies, and work on documents without slowdowns. If you tend to keep many browser tabs or apps open at once, 16 GB gives extra cushion. Gamers, modern high-end titles and competitive games, 16 GB is the sweet spot for gaming today. This capacity handles most current games smoothly. Some gamers choose 32 GB to future-proof their system or run heavy mods, but 16 GB will suffice for most players. Work/professional users, video editing, programming, graphic design start at 32 GB for demanding tasks. Video editors, 3D modelers, and developers often work with large files and multitask with heavy software, so 32 GB keeps everything running smoothly. If you do very intensive work, 4K per 8K video editing, large databases, simulations, you might go up to 64 GB or more for headroom. Now about the brands, as there are dozens of different RAM manufacturers, for casual users, the brand of RAM and flashy features aren't critical. Almost all name brand modules work fine. Instead, focus on capacity. Windows PCs today come with DDR4 or DDR5 memory. New builds use DDR5, which starts at about 3,200 MHz and commonly runs in the 6,000 to 6,400 MHz range. Gamers and pros may choose faster RAM kits, higher megahertz, and often like RGB lit modules for style, but the lighting is purely aesthetic. In other words, a well-reviewed 16 GB kit from any major maker will do for most use. Only serious gamers/creators need to look at top-end speeds or special RGB models. So in conclusion, choosing the right RAM comes down to your needs. If you're a casual user, 8 GB, 16 GB to be safe, is usually enough. If you play modern games, aim for 16 GB or 32 GB if you want extra headroom. If you do heavy video/graphic work or lots of multitasking, go for 32 GB or more. Always balance capacity and speed with your budget. In short, match the RAM to what you do. That's the best way to decide. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this and happy building or upgrading. And pick the RAM size that fits your workflow. See you soon.